Greetings to everyone. We are delighted to participate in this Congress, and we thank your organization for allowing us to be here. We are going to present a shared online teaching experience between the Philippines and Spain. First, we introduce ourselves. We are Nuria Rebaldería Rodríguez, professor and researcher from CSEU La Salle Madrid, Faculty of Health Science. Layag, coordinator for Programs Students Discipline Formation Office from CSEU La Salle University, Manila. And I, Montserrat Rincón Aguilera, professor and researcher from CSEU La Salle Madrid too. We are presenting you the Coil experience among university students with different language and cultural backgrounds. What is Coil? Coil is a methodology with the people collaborated by online with international people from other countries and for learning together. What do we want to do with Coil? So we want to connecting students and teachers, link to discuss and collaborate with each other, and bringing different cultures together. Our project has made with teachers and students from Philippines and from Spain. The global pandemic, despite the contrasts it has imposed on education, has also opened up unexplored opportunities for students' development. This communication presents the use of collaborative international online learning, COIL, between an academic unit in CSEU La Salle Madrid in Spain from degree Occupational Therapy degree, and a non-academic office in DLSU Manila in Philippines students discipline. As the university aspires to be more inclusive in its culture and practice, the need for students to experience interpersonal diversity requires that working with people from different languages and cultures. This proposal, therefore, aims to undertake a first international experience for students without having to engage in costly logistics. This project is based on different educational approaches, such as new learning contexts, project-based integrative learning, and COIL. We have using English as a shared language, and meeting of different disciplines, Department of University Guidance and Occupational Therapy. Our objectives were a pilot study of the potential of using COIL for collaboration is conducted with 3 female students, 2 Filipino and 1 Spanish, who worked together on a common project. The overall objectives of the project were to broaden the nature of students' learning experience in the classroom, to international students' engagement with the online project, and to develop intercultural competencies of the students participating in the program. How was the methodology, the COIL methodology? At first, teacher designed the experience during 6 weeks. After, students performed the tasks, replying the same process and methodology that teachers have done during the last 6 weeks. So, during 6 weeks, and using English as the language of communication, the students were to work on co-designing the role of a student volunteer on campus and designed a training program to be followed by students who wanted to perform this role. To do this, they were to hold weekly meetings and work together on the tasks that the COIL directors were scheduling. The directors, of course, were the teachers. Before and after of the Coil experience, the researchers measure the globalization competencies of knowledge of the other country culture, perspective taking, empathy, cross-cultural communication, and cross-cultural collaboration skills. The students' experiences were qualitative compared with an ad hoc questionnaire that measured intercultural communication and intercultural collaboration.
Okay, good afternoon. Now, the results of this study showed that all quantitative measures improved after the COIL experience, except for empathy, that showed no variations, and in cross-cultural collaboration skills that slightly decreased. Now, these are the results. We could see that most of the items have increased, except for empathy and cross-cultural collaboration. Now, in terms of qualitative differences, we would see that in intercultural communication, the challenges, we differentiated the challenges before and after COIL. So before COIL, some of the challenges that the students expressed are in communicating and understanding one another, that they would need to consider a common ground, which is another language, a third language in this case, because there's a Spanish and then there's also Filipino speaking students. And they also need to consider the challenges of understanding each other, the vocabulary, finding the appropriate words, and then making extra effort to get the message across. Also included, now in terms of addressing this after COIL, the students realized that their expected challenges were still one and the same. We're still the same. We have communication and expressing thoughts, understanding one another, exploring the unknown. This is an add-on. Understanding what the other is trying to say, and they felt that doing this online, it was harder, and it was also more difficult to ask the other person to explain more about what they wanted to say. How did they address this? Before COIL, they thought about doing the extra effort, which we saw a while ago that they did. They also thought about avoiding complex and difficult phrases, and then doing some linguistic exchanges, also using Google Translate. They did this, and after COIL, they were able to realize that English really is the common ground, and that it's really a lot better using simple and avoiding complex languages and making the sentences clearer. There was also the conscious effort to ensure that the other person is really understanding what they're trying to say. And of course, there's Google Translate. Now, in terms of intercultural collaboration, we looked at different areas. We have about learning about people from other cultures so that they can be able to work together since they have a project to consider. Uh, Most of the students were, not all, the students are really interested about this, and they thought about getting a new perspective from this experience, and that uh, really just getting experiences from this. After COIL, they realized that it broadened their world. It was challenging, but it was enjoying. And then it allowed them to gauge their capability to adapt to other cultures and be able to work with them, collaborate with them. In terms of adjusting to new people and places, they both realize that adjusting is difficult, that they need to adapt, that they need to be familiar with the feeling of unfamiliarity, but that they have to feel excited about it. And then after a while, they felt that they were a little nervous. It was both challenging and exciting. There is really a need to adjust. And the new environment is really unfamiliar, but learning how to adapt is important. Working together, in terms of working together with people coming from a different cultural background, they provide different perspectives. And then before COIL, they had actually basically positive expectations about it. And after COIL, most of them continued on with these positive experiences. And in terms of cultural differences, it was it was daunting before the Coil experience, but after getting through that, it was challenging, but they were able to find means and ways how to overcome that. And I believe it has added a sense of confidence for them. Now, in terms of accomplishing the project, yeah, there was again positive expectations on this, and the result is again positive, no, with being motivated about it, being expressing a sense of fulfillment about the activity. Now, in terms of the COIL program itself, the expectations were kind of positive, and after COIL, it was also positive. We could see that they were able to work together. It pleased them. If they could redo the experience, they would do it again. You know, they were expecting to improve the English level, expecting to have a boost in their confidence, and they saw that in their exercise. It helped them gain more knowledge about other people's experiences, about interacting with them even in the virtual realm. But of course, if we can do that more physically, that would be better. Overall, the students enjoyed the experience collaborating in the COIL program, even though they have language differences, cultural differences, and even time differences. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Let's talk about the discussion. By the end of the COIL program, the students have a better understanding of the culture of other countries. The first task was to ask each other questions about their interests, their daily routines, their customs. These questions served to create a climate of truth and break stereotypes. With regard to empathy, it started out as the item with the highest score and remained unchanged after the end of the program. López Olivera López describes that in COIL programs, the difficulty in finding common areas for collaborative work is often a problem. This disparity and the lack of in-depth knowledge about the other parties' studies and educational goals may partly explain why empathy did not increase after the end of the COIL program. Intercultural communication skills went from being the fourth highest rated aspect to the first. Rodrigo Alsina stresses the importance of intercultural communication in a global world, as well as the current interest in this aspect due to the rise of the study of everyday life, where the intercultural is manifested in all its effervescence. COIL programs foster a climate of collaboration and opinion based primarily on interculturality, thus creating a greater awareness of cultural diversity and, to a large extent, an increase in respect for other cultures. Intercultural collaboration skills decreased after the implementation of the COIL program. This decrease could be explained on the basis of the students' frustration with the other team members during the project, and which was picked up in the qualitative surveys. Authors such as Schwartz et al. Detected this same process in their COIL experience and indicated the need to further investigate these findings with future studies. Conclusion. The development of this program has enabled students to broaden their knowledge and skills without incurring the cost of an intercultural exchange. The difficulties encountered in the process cannot be ignored. However, motivation and openness to the experience were fundamental for the enjoyment of the COIL experience by the students. Thank you for your time.